Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we go looking for important news and headlines from sources here in our city, in our state, and for the whole country to find out what's going on in our country, find out what's going on in Mexico, how we think, how we feel, not feel, how we feel. And today is Saturday, June 12th, and it's one of those days in which there's not a lot of news. There's a couple of interesting things. Not much to say. It's kind of like those days, like when the wind is not moving and you feel the heat of the summer. It feels like that kind of a morning. So we are going to have a really awesome time here because we have no idea what's going to happen. I will tell you the news. I will be a little bit chitty-chatty because we don't have a lot to share. But then everything could change. Everything could become lively and wonderful. Thanks to your comments or your questions or your remarks, everything could just be really mellow today. We don't know, but we're happy to be here. My name is Paco. If you're new, feel free to say hello. Write the word new in your comments if you've never been here. This is what we do in the mornings. And if you have any important things that you wish to comment on or share, please make sure that you add the letter Q to the beginning of your question or comment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get going with our news and take it from there. Okay, for starters, this is really interesting to me because vaccination in Puerto Vallarta, COVID-19 vaccination, was scheduled for 40 folks in their 40s, from 40 to 49, and it ended on Friday. And guess what? Less than 60% of the vaccines put aside for folks in this age range was applied. Where are the folks in their 40s? Beats the beep out of me. But the government ended up with 15,000 vaccines that may be used next week to begin vaccination of folks between 30 to 39 years of age, or they may be sent out elsewhere in the country. This is going to be decided during the weekend. So if you are between 30 and 39 and you have been, what a great question. What delicious food did you eat at Bravo last night? I will get to that in a second, Karen. The remaining vaccines could be used for you. I mean, if you are in your 30s, please be mindful of this because this could change. And this could be announced on Monday, and it'll be totally last minute. Yes, Joey, I am totally thinking of you. Thank you so much for wowing, because we just had dinner last night and we were talking about vaccination for your age range. So it's not set in stone. It happened in somewhere in Nuevo Vallarta. There was a town in Nuevo Vallarta that started vaccinating folks in their 30s at the end of the week. But it was not widely announced. So please, please, please be mindful of this and keep your eyes open because this could be interesting for folks in your 30s. Moving right along, we announced that Hugo Lopez Gatell announced that he is going to be ended. He's going to be ending his daily press conferences about COVID, and this happened on Friday. And it was reported in curiously different ways by different newspapers. This very telling photograph was published in Noticias PB, and they say that there were all kinds of hashtags and demeaning comments about Hugo Lopez Gatell. We know he's our health undersecretary. He's been handling the whole crisis through the entire pandemic, and apparently there were some hateful remarks online. La Jornada reported differently. La Jornada reported some of the numbers that Hugo Lopez Gatell promised would be delivered in the final conferences, giving an overview of all the things that have been accomplished in Mexico and the advance of the virus. All these are in Spanish, but I'm going to very quickly say that there are 21,502 active cases right now. Not going to read all of them. Let's see. There is 1,950,000 to 420 people that have recovered. The number of deaths in Mexico today, 229,823. But then we skip over to the number of people that have been vaccinated, which is very encouraging here in Mexico. 25 million people plus have received both vaccines. 14 million plus. 14 million plus have received the entire vaccine scheme. Then 10 million plus are waiting for a second shot. That would be, that group. For a total of 25 million vaccines that have been applied in Mexico to date. So at least La Jornada gives us a little bit more of an analysis. But then El Universal from Mexico City just cuts to the chase. And here is Hugo Lopez Gatell with his lovely girl fans. And I look at this photo and I go, oh my God, wait in line, ladies, wait in line. You'll get your turn. So this is what Hugo Lopez Gatell had. And if you ask me, he is what Mexico has had. And, he is our authority. So, there are things that I don't understand about the decisions. But ultimately, what's going to happen now moving forward is that his team will continue to report on COVID-19 progress, but they haven't quite announced yet what they're going to do. Today being Saturday, we're also intrigued as to whether Governor Alfaro will make a specific announcement of how we are standing. He didn't make one, this past weekend. So this might change this coming weekend. We are not entirely sure. I also want to let you know that Seapal continues to improve the pipes throughout the city, and now they've announced that there's going to be low pressure in the water system in several neighborhoods, or this coming Monday, 2 days from today, in neighborhoods that include, and I'm going to read them all because there's quite a few of them, Centro, 5 de Diciembre, El Cerro, López Mateos, Lázaro Cárdenas, Barrio Santa María, La Vena, that is my neighborhood, Olímpica, Bugambilias, La Pedrera, Gastronómicos, Herradura, and Agua Azul. On a separate but related note, I came across some promotional videos that the government of Jalisco is starting to deploy in social media, urging Jaliscienses to be mindful of our water usage. It is getting that serious in the state of Jalisco for the government to decide to invest in specific public service announcements to this effect. And when I say Jaliscienses, I mean folks from the state of Jalisco, not Jaliscians, as some English-speaking sources like to call us from time to time. And I chuckle every time I read that we're referred to as Jaliscians, or as Vallartians. I've seen that one as well. But who am I to say what terms other papers use? I am not an authority on these businesses. I just like to go back to Spanish when there's no English word, but that's just me. Let's jump into the weather and then, don't pie me. I'll wait. I'll read. I will read your comments in a little while. But no, Scott, we won't pie you. Whatever it is that you're talking about, I'll get to that comment after the weather. Don't pie me. No, we gotta let me read this because we don't want to have the reputation that we are pie throwers here. Let's see. Don't pie me. Tell all viewers that they can go for vaccine if age appropriate, regardless of residency. Take an electric bill, passport, and a pen to fill out the form that will be. Oh, that disappeared. Hold on. That will be provided, and they will help you complete the form. I got mine yesterday at the Naval Hospital. Long line, moved quickly, and at 10 a.m. there was no line. Why would we pie you, Scott? Quite the contrary. That's what it is about. Thank you very much for that. See, I love to hear these testimonials on people that went and got it done. With all due respect to people that have chosen not to get the vaccine, but it is very simple. It was for me. It is for most people that I've talked to. So if things open up for folks in the 30s this coming week, just go do it. It's easy. It's easy. Okay, now we are going to go to the weather because I just got a little worried about this pie throwing business. You know how I get about those things. Let's see what's going on with the weather. Climate change is a hoax. Today's weather message is sponsored by Exxon, says our snarky weather. It's already 29 degrees and it's so early. It feels like 31 degrees. Humidity is at 66%. Fahrenheit temperature is 84. And let us see what we have slated for today. Today being Saturday. Rain in the evening and overnight, says our weather system, with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Sunday, we can expect to rain until morning. So it's going to rain through midnight and start again in the evening. High temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. And then on Monday, more rain and humidity throughout the day. High temperature of 30, low temperature of 24. I actually don't believe this, but actually I'm not saying I don't believe it. Of course I believe it, but let's hope it is so. Let me show you what the National Hurricane Warning Center had to say about all these affairs. Here's something that was published 9 hours ago, and it is a very sketchy photograph. You cannot really see where we are. This could be the Sahara Desert, but I vaguely see that the state of Jalisco is up here, and there are some storm nuclei in the southern part of the country that are developing, and this is what the National Hurricane Center had to say. They start by saying damas y caballeros, which means ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was really funny. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the development of 4 strong storm nuclei. Presently, these are developing thanks to the humidity in Jalisco and Michoacan. There's a 60% probability for the first nucleus of storm to enter the state of Colima, that's just south of us, and create electrical storms and rains of different intensities and so forth and so on. Then it moves on to say in the center part of Jalisco, the probability of storm surges is diminishing, but we can see the potential increase of rain and storms. So it's of course written in Weather Forecastese, which is a language that I do not completely domain or understand. But all I hope is that it will rain because we need some rain in this in this very very hot weather. And as I told you, this is this is what we have for the news. Not a lot of stuff. So we're going to spend the rest of today just chit chatting and taking a look at your comments and throwing love pies at one another. Let's see what we have. Many usual friends are joining us, like Brett and Karen and Christy and Raymond and Dan. And know that we are not in romper room, so I'm going to stop right now. Let's see what else we have here. John says it's going to be hotter and spicier today in Anaheim. I would not want to be in Anaheim there, so just try to stay cool, my friend. Logan joins my prayers and says, bring on the rain, let the sky fall. I can hear you singing, Logan. I can hear you singing. Let's see. Boom, piribim, pim, 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 pim. It's very nice day in the neighborhood El Centro. Muy buenos dias. It is nice early in the day and late in the evening when the air is moving. Absolutely. And I don't know if you have a nice view from El Centro, from El Cerro, Dave, but I certainly hope you do. Let's see what else. Oh, how nice. Dale is sitting at the amphitheater that would be in downtown Puerto Vallarta, waiting to walk with friends to support breast cancer. That is so wonderful. I wish I'd known about this walk. Sometimes things happen and we just don't get all the news ahead of time. Let's see what else we have. Uh, Dave says, Logan Miller, porfa. And porfa, let us pause here for a second and look at porfa. If you don't know what porfa means, porfa is a very unofficial, um, shortened version of saying por favor. And it is quite common in Spanish to say to our friends, porfa, do something or whatever, instead of saying the whole formal por favor. And I always find it very endearing when I see someone that is an English speaking local use the phrase porfa. So I'm going to put it back on the screen because this is a nice, cute local word we could all learn. Of course, nothing to be said about using the word please, which is always nice. But I really like that, Dave. Logan Miller, porfa. Love it. Let's see. Liz says second vaccine shot today. Mazel tov. I don't know if it will happen or it has already happened, but good for you. Let's see what else. What delicious food did you eat at Bravo's last night? Well, I started with these delicious crab cakes. Okay, for starters, I was going to Bravo's to try out the new menu because there's a bunch of new dishes, but I was worried that some of the older dishes would be gone, and I ended up being seduced by an older dish menu. I started my evening with some crab cakes, which were wonderful. Then I had the soup of the day, which was a cream of mushroom, and it was absolutely delicious. And then my main course was the chamorro, the pork leg that just dissolves with a fork. It was so beautifully cooked. It was extraordinary. And as long as I am talking about food, I want to give a quick shout out to Restaurant Cha in Versalles. We've talked about this wonderful breakfast menu, lunch and late lunch menu restaurant. They're increasing their hours, they're increasing their operation. But before I do that, let me wrap up with Bravos. Bravos is great. It's air conditioned. The service is impeccable. What a pleasant experience. They keep the tables distanced, and as long as you feel comfortable going and having a dinner at an indoor air conditioned venue these days, I cannot recommend Bravos further. I mean, anymore. I mean, what am I saying? It is a great choice. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But back to Cha. Yesterday, I celebrated a birthday lunch with a dear friend of mine, and hats off to Cha. Small restaurant, still the most amazing mole enchiladas in the city. I don't care if I have to go try every single plate of enchiladas throughout the city, but Cha is amazing. Now they have a liquor license and they have created these amazing cocktails, mixology, just fancy stuff. And I tried a couple of them. I couldn't tell you what they had, but two of their cocktails caught my attention because they are made with a delicious spirit, a very sweet and very spicy liqueur from the state of Puebla called Ancho 43. I don't know if you've ever tried it. You can drink it alone. It's kind of like a sweet thing, like a Grand Marnier, but of course this is made from ancho peppers, so it is very spicy. It is sweet and boozy and spicy. So to see it mixed in cocktails, I was totally intrigued. So I had one of the signature cocktails, and it was absolutely divine. So those are my two food-related shout-outs, one for Bravos and one for Cha. Totally recommend that restaurant. And of course, Cha is listed in our Versailles for Foodies map, which you can all enjoy. Joey reacts to the news about the vaccine. Yes, 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 Joey, you are totally in my thoughts, you and Isaac. So So we'll keep an eye on the news on Monday, and if something is going on, please cancel everything and just take this wonderful advantage should it become a reality. Chuck Crane asks, how about the second one for 50 to 59ers? Well, that's my age group, so trust me, Chuck, as soon as we read about this, we'll be the first to announce. Usually the vaccines, the follow-up vaccines, the usual recommendation is that they get applied sometime around the next month, and it's only been 2 weeks since we got vaccinated, so I am hoping that we are going to get our second shot on schedule. Why? Because I'm ready to go to Guadalajara to the symphony. So there. Dave Swart says, folks in their 40s are so cavalier, same ones walking around without masks all this time. Yikes, let's open vaccines up to everyone. You know, Dave, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I don't wish to generalize about a specific age range. But yes, there are a lot of cavalier people out there not wearing masks, which is unfortunate. In the city of Guadalajara, things have opened up and bars have opened up, and you can see that they're really crowded. I was in Emiliano Zapata last night, and there are a lot of people out there. Again, in my mindset, it is all about science, and I keep waiting anxiously for updates from our government, because ultimately, if the science says that there are more cases, that will confirm what you have just said and what many of us think. You know, it's about wearing face masks. It's about taking care of one another and taking care of ourselves. Um, and Terry defends my point. Yes, I totally agree with you. I don't think that it's a specific thing about a specific decade. I think there are very responsible people of all ages, and there are very selfish people of all ages. Um, Dr. Felipe Arce, who's a physician, thank you very much for that remark. The largest group of hospitalized COVID-related illness are younger than 40s, folks in their 40s. Unfortunately, I have read this elsewhere. And yes, I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, all the news or many of the news items that we used to read had to do with the fact that it affected older people. So maybe younger people think they're invincible. What do we know? Let us hope that we are wrong in that assessment and that everybody has a good time through this. What else do we have? Scott, you were not pied. Quite the contrary. Oh, thank you for that, Dale. For FYI, today is the last Saturday for Lázaro Cárdenas Market. Will open in October. Wimps. I always wonder why the market just chooses to shut down. I mean, I haven't lived in Emiliano Zapata for the longest time, but I would think that more and more things like the farmers market would be open through the year, because I mean, there's all of us here. There are many people here, but of course, this is not my business. It's not my choice. But I do wonder if and when these markets will continue to open longer than what they are. We'll see what happens moving forward. Let's see what else. Da-dee-da-dee-da-da. Let's see. Snarky is never wrong, right? Snarky can be, if you're talking about snarky weather, sometimes, well, I think Snarky is just Snarky, and we let him be the way he is. My home is all stocked for the first real rain of the season. Incense, red wine, pasta, Ragnarok on Netflix. Can't wait. How about your voltage surge protector, Logan? And I mean that for everyone. We don't know exactly how much it's going to rain and when, but we've talked about this before. If you're new to the weather here in Puerto Vallarta during the summer months, your television could fry, your microwave oven could fry, other electrical appliances, your laptop or computer could fry if you do not have surge protectors in place. So please be mindful of this. We have all heard all kinds of urban stories of people's appliances going and that's it. And I'll do it again. You know, that's what happens. So please take care of your appliances. It's horrible to lose your computer after the sky zaps. So please don't let that happen to you. Matthew, we showed your video yesterday while you were busy filming with Iñárritu. We showed your video playing the piano. I thought, oh, there's Matthew. Anyhow, how fascinating to spend time with all these things and extra being an extra in a movie. I've never been an extra in a movie, so fascinating. Maybe when you visit Puerto Vallarta in December, we can do like a little video so you can tell us what that was like. Thank you, Brett. I didn't know if you were aware, but our current Aquario has a new pinguino or penguin exhibit, just keeping you up to date. Thank you so much for that. Penguins and otters have to be my favorite creatures to watch in an aquarium because they're just fascinating creatures. I'm just mesmerized looking at them coming and going. So I love it. Coffee, headlines, and romper room. Yes, sure, why not? Due to a lot of misleading information for long-term non-residents' ability to acquire a prick, just wanted to clarify it can be done in order to allow those who are eligible to take advantages of our chosen country's pandemic services. Love, always love. I'm reading you. Yeah. What I'm hearing you saying here, Scott, is that there has been a lot of misleading information regarding folks that are not legal residents. I have heard all kinds of stories about this. I have heard non-legal residents getting vaccinated, and I have heard non-legal residents getting turned down. It is unfortunate that this happens, and I hope that what you're saying is indeed correct. If I was living here from north of the border and I was not legally here, I would still go. I would still go, and hope for the best. Love, always love. I totally hear you. We don't make these decisions ourselves, Scott. These decisions come from the government, so it is what it is. But ultimately, yes, I think the worst thing we can do is stay home and be misinformed. So thank you for what you're saying. If I am reading what you're saying properly, if not, just slap me. Let's see what else we have. Great experience, but very tiring, says Matthew. Wow, we want all the details. Chamorro at Bravos. Yes, that's exactly what I had. It was absolutely divine. And that mushroom soup is to die for. Yes, it was. Thank you very much for that remark. I love this. Buenos días, chamacones paconianos. Buenos días, Angélica. ¿Cómo estás, pinche bata loca? ¿Qué está pasando donde tú estás? That would be a very northern type of greeting. Michael, thank you so much for a great dinner last night. I love your restaurant, and I am not going to be shy about that. And I love your endorsement for chai, because Chef Mario has been doing such wonderful things in his small but very amazing restaurant. Even the patio, he has upgraded the patio, putting like canopies such that you have a more intimate, cozy thing, but you're still at fresco. Everybody go to Cha. Yes. Let's see what else. Heather, it is absolute torture for me not to have eaten at Bravos for so long because it's indoors, but soon. Heather, my only wish for you and for anybody whose comfort area is still a little small is to take big breaths and find the time and place and moment that works for you to go out there. We're not going to shame anyone here for still being very, very, very concerned about going out. Quite the contrary. It is a personal choice, and my hope for you is that you will indeed soon be enjoying dinner at Bravos. Money. Hello, Thomas. Hello from the romantic sauna. Better late than never. And now everyone in the salon with our first shot and happy. So I guess everybody working at the salon is in their 40s. Yay. Congratulations. Market shut down because snowbirds fly home and they are the main attendees. Yes, I suppose. But what about you guys? What about, I mean, how many of you watching today, I wonder, are folks that are here through the entire year? I mean, you are the main target for coffee and headlines. It is, I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers. I don't know the economics, but I would imagine that there are enough English speaking folks here that would be interested in the farmers market to go. And it makes me wonder, why are some of the English speaking locals not going to the farmers market? Maybe it's just too eventfully or eventy or touristy, or I don't know. I mean, the municipal markets like Cinco de Diciembre, which we visited yesterday, are open year round, and they are lovely. So I don't know. It's a food for thought kind of thing. Um, Michael agrees the market should stay open longer. We're not going anywhere, or just perhaps on a smaller scale. To me, it boils down to surveys. I wonder if the market organizers put out surveys or get information ahead of time. I mean, it's the way, it's these perceptions that we've had them for a long time. It's like it starts getting hot and everybody flies away. But then, you walk around the city and indeed the pace is different. It's a little mellower, but you still run into a bunch of English speaking folk living here in the city. We don't revert to Spanish during the summer. But again, not my business, just commenting. Let's see. Stephanie, I am so sorry to hear about this. My deepest condolences, and thank you for sharing these very sad news, and thank you for the reminder that vaccines don't make us invincible. We should all continue to be very careful. And Stephanie, please consider yourself loved and hugged here. And again, thank you for sharing something so sad and personal with us. I appreciate that very much. Uh, Christy thinks I do fried electronics very well. Well, when I stopped making a living out of coffee and headlines, I could stand at a corner with a little basket and just go and see how much money I can get to pay my rent. But thank you very much for the encouragement. I'll definitely add that to my resume. Uh, Bread, seriously. I like watching otters too, but I prefer the ones in the bars. I wonder if which ones are more difficult to catch, whether the ones that we see at the zoo or the ones at the bars. Let's see what else we have. There are no guarantees, even with being vaccinated. Absolutely. Uh, there are no guarantees. Uh, Lynn says, I heard non legal could get a jab at the end of the day if there were extra available. My point, the worst thing I can do, the worst thing somebody can do is to just stay idle. Pam Thompson, hello, Paco. Long time no see. It's great to see you. How are you doing? It's great to see you here. Um, Thomas says, a friend of mine did. He said he went and just very quietly asked and said, if no, it's okay. But they took him so the vaccine wouldn't go to waste. There you go. See, initiative makes the whole difference. Um, I went to the market for the first time 2 weeks ago. There was little food, mostly arts and crafts, says Dave. Well, that could be the reason why it's not doing so well. Again, I don't know. Maybe the farmers market cannot compete with municipal markets. And Michal says, I prefer the municipal market. See, I think of the farmers market as it has developed here in town as an arts and crafts thing, not so much as a place to get organic produce or to buy from small sources. But again, for the nth time, it's not my market. So, we don't know I don't know what to tell you. I think the market is changing, says Angelo. With so many people moving here, eventually it may be year around. You know what would be my selfish, maybe unrealistic wish, Angelo? It would be that whoever chooses to live here year round from another country would clearly embrace the lifestyle of here enough that no special markets for English speaking folks should be even necessary. You see, the Mercado Municipal is the Mexican farmers market. Why it is that we need a special market for English speaking folk to go and have an experience that is more similar to the experience that they had north of the border. Well, I understand it to a certain extent, but ultimately, why recreate or why put something out there that is ultimately already available? I mean, you go to farmers markets here in town at the Mercado Municipal, and you find the things that you find at farmers markets north of the border. But enough about that. No special markets. Bravo, says Trucha Danzante. Um, farmers markets, as the one in Lázaro Cárdenas, do have the whole artsy craftsy thing, and you won't find that at the Mercado Municipal. That's for sure. That's for sure. But again, the organizers could look at these things and change some of the things and move forward with that. Pam says some of the best food around is at the Mercado Municipal and super low prices, breakfast and lunch delicious. Thank you for that endorsement, Pam. You were not here yesterday, but we did a great walkthrough of the the Aramara Municipal Market, and it is absolutely delicious to eat there, and it's great to shop there. And if I had not been in a hurry, I would have just stayed and hung around and looked at people and talked to people, and I would have played longer with the two kids that approached me. It's part of the fun of being in Mexico. Jimmy says, totally agree. If you decide to stay in Mexico permanently, you should be speaking the language. Well, that would put me out of business, Jimmy. So, it's whatever it is. It's nice to know that there's a comfort level for everyone. If some folks only need a municipal market, go to it. If you need a special farmers market, it's a good thing that is being offered. But ultimately, are all these things needed? Probably not. Market focused entirely on tourist chingaderas, expensive and rarely any local, mostly tourist trinkets, and food will be missed, but not cheap for locals. I imagine you're talking about the farmers market, Scott. The Mexican arts and crafts market, in the one that is right next to the Rio Cuale. To me, that is a market focused entirely on tourist chingaderas, because it's all the Mexican arts and crafts things that every other market sells. But I can see that a lot of you have interesting opinions about the farmers markets versus the municipal markets. Bottom line is, it's nice to know that you are getting to use them all. And look at the time; it's already 11:08, and I thought we did not have enough content for today. Let's see. I love Marinas at Mercado Emiliano Zapata. Emiliano Zapata Farmers Market is a lot smaller, but it is really, really cute. Oh, I hope PV knows how valuable you are. Well, my cat Luna knows that I'm sort of valuable because I feed her. My friends know how to show their love and respect towards me, and I count myself fortunate, Paula, to be here and share these moments with you, and that is truly more than enough for me. And that's our broadcast for today. Again, it's so nice to connect with you. We are at that time of the year in which I'm not actually all that sure that I know how many of you are tuning in from the city and how many of you are tuning in from elsewhere. Not that I mind either way, but it's interesting. I mean, we have to acknowledge that the dynamics of the city shift through the weekend, through the summer. But we're here. We're here to serve as a connection between you and the destination, as long as you will let us continue to be here. And that wraps up today's broadcast. Today was Saturday. Tomorrow we take a nice little break. We try to stay cool with this weather. We hope it'll rain. We really do. And I hope to see you again soon. I hope to see you again Monday. Please, if you're in your 30s, stay watchful, because this could be a good deal for anyone wishing to get your second shot, your first shot. Then again, I mean, speaking of second shot, I mean, they might turn around and say, okay, folks in their 50s, you can get your second shot this coming week. So we'll have to see what happens on Monday. We'll have to see if Governor Alfaro sends us a new update on COVID. But we'll keep you well informed. Between now and then, just have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.